We're waiting for a foot. All right. We gather here today, and I'd like to acknowledge the Aboriginal owners of the land on which we are meeting today, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and pay my respects and our respects to their elders past and present. Today we do church on land that was stolen and never has been ceded. And as is our practice, I would like to welcome everyone here and affirm that you are welcome here, whether you are present in the chapel, online, watching this synchronously or asynchronously, you are welcome. Hartwell is a fully affirming community and is fully committed to being a safe space and place for people who are connected to this community, regardless of your gender, sexuality, your race, your family background, your economic situation, and regardless of how old you are, where you come from, what abilities you have, what languages you speak, what religion, what spiritual path, tradition, or your ethical conviction. Everyone is welcome here, and we want everyone to feel safe here. Thank you. Barb, light our candle for us. start with an introduction to the themes of our contemplative gathering this morning and the way in which we are going to explore them. For millennia, our mystical and cultural traditions understood that the earth is animate, alive and sacred. Everyday life was imbued with a conscious recognition of this and rooted in values of interconnectedness, kinship, reciprocity and reverence. Today, numerous destructive systems have separated us from the earth and led us to harm our own nature and that of the world around us. Yet within us, a memory of that primordial way of being in relationship with the living world remains. What will it take to learn to live again in communion with the earth? That's from Emmanuel Vaughan, who is the founder of Calipaya Institution and Emergence Magazine. This morning, we'll move through several spiritual practices which aim to make us more aware of the trees in our lives and bring us closer in mind, body and spirit to them, to begin a sort of communion with the earth, some sort of communion with the earth. Start out today. The form of the service will be unusual, although thus far, the beginning held no surprises. We will soon enter a range of contemplative and responsive practices. Is the microphone sounding funny to you? Yes. Yes. The microphone's sounding funny?
Oh, it's quiet.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't hear you properly. Yeah, well, it's not.
No, I think you just want to speak loud or closer.
Can't move much closer, unfortunately.
No, but it's tinny. It's got a tinny sound as well. Is it actually doing anything?
That's
Yeah, it's doing it. It's just
closer you are.
Okay. Why didn't somebody say something?
Because we were concentrating.
Okay. How much do you want to hear again?
That's fine.
This morning we will move through several spiritual practices which aim to make us more aware of the trees in our lives and bring us closer in mind, body and spirit to them, to begin some sort of communion with the earth, with the environment around us. The form of the service will be unusual, although thus far the beginning held no surprises, although it did. We will soon enter a range of contemplative and responsive practices which will include communion and a period of sharing before ending with a blessing and song which form a prayer to take us out into the world again. I will end with these words of Dostoevsky, who actually explains how we might begin that communion with the earth. Love all God's creation, both the whole and every grain of sand. Love every leaf, every ray of light. Love the animals, love the plants, love each separate thing. If you love each thing, you will perceive the divine mystery of God in all. And when you have perceived this, you will grow every day to a fuller understanding of it, until you come at last to love the whole world with a love which will then be all-embracing and universal. And brothers Karamazov. And so, we will have a song. Healing is flowing deep in the waters, which is sung to morning, is broken with words by Norman Harding.
The great creation, full of theologists.
God's Our first reading is from Job, chapter 14, verses 7 to 9. From a moment I forgot how to read Bible citation. There is hope for the tree. If it is cut down, that it will sprout again, and that its shoots will not cease. For although its root grows old in the earth, and its stump dies in the ground, yet at the scent of water it will bud and put forth branches like a young plant.
Thank you, Chris. I would never have thought of using a quote from Job in this service, but it was included in Libby Burns' Being Among Trees book, which I purchased. And I read it and I thought, oh goodness, this has got to be in here. It's just the most beautiful piece of hope I think I've read. We're going to have a meditation now. It's going to be a meditation, a breathing exercise and a visualisation. And if you're game, I would like you to take off your shoes. And you don't have to if it's too hard to do. If you can make sure that you can keep your feet though quite firmly connected with the ground. If you're sitting, so if you can sit straight on in your chair, maybe a little forward from where you normally would sit, and make sure, almost like you're going to stand up. You can put that sort of weight on your feet, and close your eyes or not close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths to centre yourself in this new position. We are now in the forest. Wind is blowing, and your feet are making more contact with the earth. The carpet's growing up around them. And you feel your feet rooting with the ground, burrowing down, and you realise that you're becoming a tree. Your legs feel stronger than they have done. And there's a sense of vitality that comes from your feet and moves up your legs into your trunk and gives you a sense of grandeur and standing tall. Or you will stand tall when you grow to be a big tree. At the moment, you're a small tree, but a tree nonetheless. And as you feel that sense of growth flowing upwards through you, and the water and nutrients coming up to you from the ground, you can lift your arms up like branches and hold them aloft. Feel them in the air. You can feel it, you can hear the wind in the other trees. Allow the wind to just give you a little bit of a rock from one side to the other. And allow yourself to feel as though you are a tree. What does a tree feel? What does it feel when the wind blows? Does it worry? They're flexible things, trees, aren't they? They just go with the airflow. And the birds come and nest in them and twitter in the top of them, and insects do things, weave webs and bore into their trunks. And possums and other animals run up and down them. If they're very unlucky, human children climb up them and break a few twigs on the way, and maybe sit up the top and see the landscape beyond. You're not strong enough for any of that yet, but you've got a good feeling that you will make it. You can stretch your little branches a bit further and lift your head on its stalk of trunk and allow that to feel the air above you, feel the sun maybe coming out now, sun and soul, and lifting you and feeding you as your leaves perform the miracle of photosynthesis and convert light into sugar. You have no knowledge probably of where that might go, but you could be a maple tree and you might be going to make delicious sap and people will have a bit of you on pancakes. You might be a gum tree and the gum will be collected. You might make gum nuts or maybe and people will tread on them. And now slowly drop your branches and return to being you, but try to retain that feeling of also being a tree and keep it with you as you do the exercises, the explorations that we're going to turn our minds to next. And breathe. 3 breaths. And open your eyes if you close them. And welcome back. There are 2 other trees that I made. These are my regnans, which are Eucalyptus regnans, is a mountain ash. And they're very small mountain ashes, but they've got ambitions too. Now I'm going to do a sensory exploration meditation with the materials that you've got, the bits of tree that you have on your table, and there's absolute stacks of tree all around the place. So if you don't have any, look at somebody who's got some. There's a lot up here, and just Rosemary's got heaps here. Just share amongst yourselves.
Anyone want some gum leaf?
I'll take the bits. You can take the other. No, I like the bits.
Musicians, you might like to join us.
If anyone can tell me what sort of tree this is, I'll be grateful to know.
It's a green one.
Thank you.
What I would like you to do is meet, if this is a tree that you don't know, you've never followed the job before, meet it like a stranger. And in your mind, look at it the same way you would look at a stranger. You don't know it, so get to know it. And one of the ways we get to know things is with our eyes. There are other senses, and you can't normally do it when you meet a stranger, but you can touch a leaf. You can smell a leaf, you can look at a leaf. You can hold the leaf softly in your arms or embrace it. You can crush it to see. You can't do that to a stranger either. Do that sort of thing, and also note what's happening to you when you're doing this. Bringing yourself in relation to a tree, to branches, to looking at them up close, and you don't have to stick with the ones that you brought. You can get up. If somebody looks like they've got some nice leaves and you're interested in, go over and ask to have a play with one of their
Tree tinder.
What was that?
It was this tree tinder.
Just slide right off.
You won't have any interest in it, just put it back in this
You might be keep that alone.
And you've got some line paper to make some notes about what you're doing. So there's pencils on your table, line paper. The next bit that we move, you'll get drawing paper. So if you've got drawing ideas, don't do those now. This is a observation, exploration, collecting data about the leaves, about you, and anything else that comes into your mind. Because one of these things is, these sort of exercises are meant to open you up, to allow what's inside you to come up and have a little relationship with it. Maybe it doesn't mean you do that.
poem from Mary Oliver. Have you ever tried to enter the long black branches? Have you ever tried to enter the long black branches of others' lives? Try to imagine what the crisp fringes full of honey hanging from the branches of the young locust trees in early morning feel like. Do you think this world was only an entertainment for you? Never to enter the sea and notice how the water divides with perfect courtesy to let you in. Never to lie down on the grass as though you were the grass. Never to leap to the air as you open your wings over the dark acorn of your heart. No wonder we hear in your mournful voice the complaint that something is missing from your life. Who can open the door who does not reach for the latch? Who can travel the miles who does not put one foot in front of the other, all attentive to what presents itself continually? Who will behold the inner chamber who is not observed with admiration, even with rapture, the outer stone? Well, there is time left. Fields everywhere invite you into them. And who will care? Who will chide you if you wander away from wherever you are to look for your soul? Quickly then, get up, put on your coat, leave your desk, to put one's foot into the door of the grass, which is the mystery, which is death as well as life, and not be afraid. To set one's foot in the door of death and be overcome with amazement. To sit down in front of the weeds and imagine God the 10-fingered sailing out of his house of straw, nodding this way and that way, to the flowers of the present hour, to the song falling out of the mockingbird's pink mouth, to the tippets of the honeysuckle that have opened in the night, to sit down like a weed among weeds and rustle in the wind.
Listen, are you breathing just a little and calling it a life? Well, the soul, after all, is only a window, and the opening of the window no more difficult than the wakening from a little sleep. Only last week, I went out among the thorns and said to the wild roses, "Deny me not, but suffer my devotion." Then all afternoon I sat among them. Maybe I even heard a curl or two of music, damp and rouge red, hurrying from their stubby buds, from their delicate watery bodies. For how long will you continue to listen to those dark shouters, caution and prudence? Fall in, fall in. A woman standing in the weeds. A small boat flounders in the deep waves. And what's coming next is coming with its own heave and grace. Meanwhile, once in a while, I have chanced among the quick things upon the immutable. What more could one ask? And I would touch the faces of the daisies, and I would bow down to think about it. That was then, which hasn't ended yet. Now the sun begins to swing down. Under the peach light, I cross the fields and the dunes. I follow the ocean's edge. I climb. I backtrack. I float. I ramble my way home.
Thank you, Janine and Meryl. Beautifully read. It's a fantastic poem. And a joy to hear you read it. Thank you. So hopefully that sets you up quite nicely to move into a more active period where we are going to, I've called it personal expression. I went through all sorts of things. There's exploration too. But it's your personal expression about it, whatever form that might take. So I've said reflect and record whatever you need to do. So whatever's coming up for you from what we've done, whatever needs to come out, however you think that needs to come out. You might find it has to come out in ways that are comfortable for you, or you might find that using something that's completely different might be a good way of bringing up something is unusual, so the medium meets the message sort of thing. I would avoid taking photos. I've put video. I think that if you wanted to film, you're moving, you're embodied. A photo, you can argue with me and you can go and do it obviously, but I feel the photo puts something between you and the object, whereas if you draw it, with a pencil and paper, your eye is actually engaged on the thing. It's up to you, but that's what I would suggest. And if you feel that you can't draw a shape, leaves are fantastic for tracing. There is nothing that says you can't trace. They told you that in primary school, they were wrong. It's something that's been used in arts forever. So don't be afraid to do that, and then you can make whatever marks you might want to write a leaf. And then write words on it. I mean, take the shape of the leaf and write words on it. It's fine. Whatever feels good to you. You might find that but not looked at the leaves, but looked at the branches and the twigs, the harder part of the plant. A lovely practice with those is to wrap them with yarns and fabrics and stuff, and there's stacks of yarns and fabrics and stuff up at the back there. You may notice that there's no colour really involved in that, and that's because colour itself is an issue. It can be a very seductive thing, and it can take you away from being mindful. It's very demanding. So I've given you texture, there's all different weights and stuff like that. Feel free to have a play with that. There's scissors there as well. There's masking tape as well. Masking tape is fabulous for wrapping around things and sticking on things and constructing your paper into a 3D object. And I'm going to bring you back in a minute. We'll have about 12, 15 or so minutes doing this. So let yourselves really embed yourselves in it. There's marker pens and stuff out there as well. I just like the back of the end. Thank you. some permanently out of the way. I We've reached the end of our second exploration. Feel free to keep fiddling, and as you're a musician, we're going to sing Eat This Bread, Drink This Cup in preparation for communion, which we are keeping in this sacred space. We'll have a time of sharing after that.
I'm going to ask for all of us to come into a circle, if we can. So we might have to just rotate around this table a little bit. You can stand or sit. Yes, if you feel you need to sit, that's fine. Coming around, thanks. I'm going to start with a poem by Rilke, and then we'll end again with the poem afterwards. There we go. In my life, I live my life in widening circles that reach out across the world. I may not complete this last one, but I will give myself to it. I circle around God, around the primordial tower. I've been circling for thousands of years, and I still don't know. Am I a falcon, a storm, or a great song? You can grab the bread and the wine and just hold it. We're going to do them separately. You can just hold them for a second. Sarah has spoken along with Dostoevsky about communion with the earth. Communion with the earth. And often when we do communion, we tend to, not always, focus on ourselves as individuals or human beings. But I think there's something beautiful. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Oops. There's something beautiful. There's something beautiful to do as we're doing around a circle, and also, as Wilco said, a widening circle to include all of the earth, the trees, as part of our communion today. So as I read this next bit, we'll then eat the bread together. As we eat the bread, bring a sense of gratitude to the trees and the earth that sustains us. And as we drink the wine, bring a sense of the fact that we are also part of the earth that sustains us. A communion of saints, but also in communion with the earth. I'm going to close with one more reading of the poem by Ricketts. I live my life in widening circles that reach out across the world. I may not complete this last one, but I will give myself to it. I circle around God, around the primordial tower. I've been circling for thousands of years, and I still don't know. Am I a falcon, a storm, or a great song? Amen.
So we move into our third exploration. And this is, I guess, where we bring the fruits of our mythical quest and share them with the village. In the sense of, what do you need to share about what we did today? What's come up? What did you notice? What was good, bad? All that sort of stuff. A time to share. There's only a small number of us, so probably in this big group, I think. And if you need to come out and take the mic, please do. Do you?
Just a wonderful service, Sarah. Thank you. I've had that little pot plant there with the succulent on my desk 2 years. I don't know. Can everybody hear me all right? Yeah. For about 2 years, but I was struck today how little I've actually noticed it. So when you said, write and describe it, I started noticing little things I've just never seen before. And I think what was curious in myself is I started to ask questions of the plant in the sense of, what did I write down? My writing's terrible. Like one of the things I said, my succulent just never complains, and I asked it, do you feel like complaining sometimes? Like, do I feed you well? Do I give you too much sun? It was just a curious moment of, by providing the opportunity, Sarah, for me to notice things, I found myself asking questions, as a lot of Indigenous people would say, other than human persons. And so that struck me.
Thank you.
Earlier this year, I got a Tahitian lime plant tree that I put in a pot and I put on my balcony. And it's the time of year where it's starting to sprout, so it's just starting to bud, and I've been fastidiously putting the extra fertiliser on that they say you have to do every week. But in doing that, I've sort of lost sight of the actual tree. I'm worried about it getting waterlogged underneath, and I'm always pulling out and stuff like that. But it was such a beautiful experience to actually be able to look at one branch that I bought. And I'd been asking myself questions. I was watching the bees going into each of the buds, and I wasn't sure whether when those leaves fell away, petals fell away, whether underneath it is the actual bulb and the bud that then becomes the lime. It's actually very tiny but very a rich colour. And so just now I had this wonderful experience of seeing that these are all possibly new limes. And also the incredible experience of realising that the leaves at the very top are very soft and malleable, and they're actually brand new. And so these are like the baby leaves, and then all these quite rich sort of waxy leaves underneath. So so I feel like I've got a new relationship with my tree, and whether it sprouts lots of limes or not, I'm now really feel much closer to it. So it's been a fantastic experience for me. Thank you. That's beautiful.
My tree was just up a couple of slides ago, and the main thing there it is. The main thing about it is it needs pruning down the bottom, but the only thing I have noticed about it is how wonderfully it shades that side of the house, and especially my son's upstairs area in summer. But to sit with it, I've discovered all sorts of things about the leaves. And how symmetrical or asymmetrical they are at different times of their life. And I just feel like I know it so much better. I still haven't got a clue what it is. My landscape gardener called it an ash, and then he thought, no, I'm not sure that it is an ash, so I don't know if anyone knows what that tree is, please let me know. But tracing is a really good thing to do. First time I've ever drawn a leaf that looks like a leaf. So just a whole new relationship with our lovely tree. Yeah. Even the neighbours like it.
I'm a bit like Brian. I brought something I'm really familiar with. This is a piece of one of my Silver Princess gums. And as you can see, it had, not too long ago, they were bright red, the gums, the flowers. They're beautiful. And it's very drapey and it's lovely. But I'm also sad because two of them at the back have died. And so they don't live a long time, these trees, apparently. And so that's sad too. And one of them's still standing there, just bare and horrible. But so because they were put in when we did our new garden, but the ones at the front are still taking over the whole garden and draping their way all down the hill. So I love them when they're flowering and the birds all come to eat the flowers and stuff.
Mine was more an emotional response. I came in this morning a little stressed and anxious, but the mindfulness of tracing and drawing has left me calm and hopeful, and almost, relaxed is not the right word, but yes, trees are such an important part of our lives. Hopeful. Did I say hopeful?
Did you find as you were drawing that everything else switched on?
Thank you.
It's like effortless mindfulness.
Yes.
Yeah. You don't have to. The thoughts don't come back. They stay.
Thank you. That's what I'd like to put it.
The meditation of becoming a tree, that was different and quite wonderful. I feel taller.
I was going to get you all to stand up, but I figured it out was probably I don't know what made me think of. I invented that. Just during the week, I found myself going, what does it feel like a tree?
I've done it with children in kindergarten.
Yeah, I guess they do, don't they?
Yeah, the response you get is just, yeah.
I guess it's time to have a blessing and to move to the last part of our service. And I want to say thank you for everybody who sent in a tree picture and for being so open and, you know, it's that amazing, it's God's maths. You got something, I got more than you got because I get it from multiple people, but it's, you know, like there's no zero-sum games here, it's just plus, plus, plus. It's wonderful. Thank you all. Now, I did have a different blessing sorted out, and of course I suddenly thought, I wonder what Mr. Cardy has to say about trees. And of course, it's very apt. May we be blessed by the song of the deep bush. May we be blessed by the song of the deep bush, singing green, singing hope, lifting our spirits, if only we can hear. May we be blessed by the boughs of the forest, overshadowing, protecting, calming our souls, if only we let them. May we be blessed by the God who holds the is and the not yet, the pain of rampant destruction and the hope of vulnerable seedlings. So come, sit, listen, be, in this nest of the woodlands, opening ourselves to the mystery of the way, pace, and prayer of trees and their blessing. Amen. We have our final song, For the Beauty of the Earth. And the words in this song were written in 1864, and we've changed a few bits where we didn't like the old-fashioned theology, but most of the words in it are just so on point. They're simple, clear statement of love of nature and everything. For the beauty of the earth.
Oh,
didn't notice it until about halfway through.
When we were caught up back at the down road, in Hobart, it was lovely suburbs.